Okay, so I'm not gonna lie. Like it's been like a few days since like I seen this trade happen, and I'm still kind of shocked that this trade actually happened because I get that the Seahawks are like not really going anywhere with Geno Smith, but like I expect them to actually trade him like that soon, like that. Like I expected them to do that. Like that was kind of crazy to me that they would actually do that. Given the fact that like it's a weak QB class, the draft, and the QBs that's in the free agency market is not really like not someone that I'm like moved with wherever they get from free agency, honestly. But yeah, Geno Smith get traded to the Raiders for a third round pick, which is pretty good compensation given the fact that older QB and he's played really well in the past few years too. So plus it gives the Raiders like at least a QB that can at least be stable for at least 2 to 3 years max for him. And honestly, what the Raiders can do now, especially since he's reunited with Pete Carroll with them and the Raiders now. They really do is now like they can really draft like a developmental type of QB the second or third round if they really want to, instead of like having to like force them to actually trade up to get a QB in this draft, given the fact that like this QB class is not really the strongest, like projection wise. So to me, like after thinking it wasn't that good of a move, it's actually a pretty good move now for the Raiders for sure because it makes and then like I also heard that like they actually about to pay him too, like a good amount of money for Geno Smith, and I'm like, that's fine. I could deal with that because he made at least a French top 12 player QB in the league now, so like he's worth the money in my opinion. He really is. Say this about the Raiders though, like they definitely gonna need another pass catcher for them, like a number one receiver for sure. Which I think they actually be locked in at least getting another number one receiver in the first round pick now, because like they definitely need one now at this point because Coleman Myers is story. Trey Tucker is cool. I mean, everybody know about Brock Bowers, even though it's a tight end, but he's the best pass catcher on the team. So definitely gonna need like an alpha receiver on the team for sure. Offensive line's actually pretty good. Actually, it's one of the more underrated parts of the team. So hey, I mean, if they could find another running back too, like it'll be even better for them because I already know Pete Carroll offense though, they would like to run the ball a lot. So also like ultimately like like in an extension though, like he's 35 now, so like by the time he's like extended, he probably at least done by at least 37 or 38 because I don't expect him to like be there for that long. Even then, if they do draft a QB, bro, like I do expect him to like be a starter for at least 2 years at max because I don't see him like being there for the long haul, obviously because of his age. And you would think that like the QB that they draft, like they'll at least be ready to go whenever it's time for them to actually start. Unless they're like that bad to where like they actually like give themselves the first pick in the draft somehow this few years. But I'll say this: at least the Raiders will be at least respectable. At least respectable QB places Derek Carr. So I guess division is tough. Chiefs, Chargers, the Broncos just made the playoffs and too, and yeah, division is tough. So hey, at least did something. I'll give him that. Now for the Seahawks side of things though, like I'm not gonna lie, like I can see what they're going for. Like they don't want to like pay him, the fact that he's 35, and especially for them to be in the same position they're in for the past 3 years. But at the same time though, like he's a French top 12 QB in the league when he plays, and honestly, like I really much prefer them if they actually did pay him. Now I heard he requested a trade somewhere in the rumors. There's rumors that he requested a trade, but like even then, I will still pay them and then still draft a young QB within the second or third round of this draft because like probably have the Jalen Miro, they could draft and develop him behind them because like at least with them like he at least developed behind like at least some pieces around, especially an older QB like Geno Smith who's been around the league for the longest. So I at least would have did that, but now I'm hearing they actually might be in the Sam Darnold sweepstakes, and to which I'm like, look, honestly, like I don't think they should pay Sam Darnold at all. Cause like part of me really wants to believe that Sam Darnold has turned the corner and has become like a really consistent QB, but like in the back of my mind though, I still see the same guy that I said he was seeing ghosts like back when he was still with the Jets, and like you really know like it goes for most guys as it is, but like when he's behind a bad offensive line, to which the Seattle Seahawks was like probably the worst offensive line in the league, like bad things happen and he gets to seeing ghosts again. So like, I don't know, man. I'm a little hesitant on like trying to pay him like $40 million a year. Like, I'm kind of hesitant on that, but hey, man, like Sam Darnold's gonna get paid somebody, so it might as well be the Seahawks, right? I don't know, man. Like, it does make me nervous that like the Seahawks might actually go through with this and pay Sam Darnold the money. So, to which like they really could just keep Geno Smith and especially be in the same position they in. Which I think they're maybe even worse position. They tried to sign Sam Darnold, but we'll see. Sam Darnold could probably prove me wrong, to which I'll be glad if he does. But if not, then it kind of vindicates what I was thinking. So we'll see how that goes for him. But like, I ain't gonna lie though, I'm gonna miss that Geno Smith era though, because like that whole like they roll him up and he right back era, bro. Like, honestly, bro, like that probably was kind of fun to actually like watch, seeing it happen in real time, given the fact that like like dude was just like a cast off and he ended up being like at least a starting QB for at least a few years. So, and then like, made the playoffs too with them. So like, I think he also had like a positive record with him. Like every year he's been a starter for them too. So like, honestly, like this was a really successful like run they had with Geno Smith, but like they move on and they want to like see what they could do with another QB. I'm gonna miss this era though for sure. Like, I really was grateful that I actually got to see this. I'm not even a Seahawks fan, but like for him to be like this after they trade Russell Wilson, bro, that's something I didn't see coming. I'm really grateful that like they had something to cheer for, given the fact that like they had him.